Of both clubs so similar to the previous autumn. And like 1991, this one too went to the 7th and deciding game. But with one slight alteration. It was 2-0 Pittsburgh going to the bottom of the 9th, and 2-1 when the fireworks began.
Swung line drive left field. One run is in. Here comes Breen. Here's the throw to the plate. In. Safe. Braves win. Braves win. Braves win. Braves win. Braves win.
The celebration that took place in this clubhouse back on that October night in 1992 was unforgettable. But the year ended in disappointment. So did 1993 when a great pennant race against the Giants culminated in a playoff loss to the Phillies. That brings us to 1994. 94, the year a black cloud hung over baseball.
That's right, Skip. As we all remember, in the middle of August of that year, the players went on strike, ending the season and the World Series. And as 1995 approached, the entire season was in doubt. But a court order enabled baseball to resume, and as the Braves reassembled in West Palm Beach in early April, they had one goal and one goal only on their minds: to win the World Series, because they knew that this year they had the talent to win it all.
It's baseball time again. Let's play ball.
If you believe in omens, the Atlanta Braves' 1995 regular season began with 6 of them in a row. On an opening day delayed nearly a month by the strike, the Braves attacked the Giants like a team overdue.
In the left center field, that's going to get in the gap between Bonds and Lewis and roll to the wall. And Marquise Grissom debuts as a Brave with a double. Here's the 2-2, and there's a line drive center field in for a base hit. Marquise Grissom will get the red light applied at third. Runners first and third, nobody out here in the bottom of the first. 1-0 Atlanta. The base hit to right field by Chipper Jones. That didn't take long. In the left center field, base hit for McGriff. Blauser rounds third. He will score. Chipper Jones heads for third. It's 2-0 Atlanta. Sharply hit into right field, base hit. That'll get another run in. Chipper Jones crosses home. Now to second goes Fred McGriff. It's 3-0 as the first 5 Atlanta hitters have connected for base hits. Here's the 2-1 into right field. Another base hit. Fred McGriff will be held up at third. The bases loaded. 6 consecutive hits. No better way to win the fans back than to start out a first inning of opening day like this.
Fred McGriff hit 2 home runs. David Justice 1. And 3-time defending Cy Young Award winner Greg Maddux cruised to a comfortable 12-5 victory. In fact, they won 6 of their first 7, staying comfortably in control for the first time ever in the realigned National League East. Sending a bit different lineup to the plate than what Braves fans had seen the season before. Marquise Grissom was acquired from Montreal during spring training, giving the Braves a very strong leadoff hitter and one of the best defensive center fielders in the game.
See if the park will hold this one. Grissom at the wall. He leaps, and he hauls one in.
Base hit, 1 run in, 2 runs are going to try. Grissom's throw is in time.
Right center field, Marquise Grissom on the run for this one and comes up with another one. Whoa.
Ryan Klesko was up from the minors full time. Chipper Jones took over at third base for the departed Terry Pendleton. But it was a lineup that would take a while to gel. The Braves swept at home by the Phillies, and while both their pitching and hitting were dominated by Philadelphia, the Braves' biggest concern was the health of David Justice. A shoulder injury took him out of the lineup for nearly a month. Could they survive without his bat? In fact, it was a team searching quietly for many answers. Too early in the season for panic, but knowing someone would have to step up soon. On June 5th, in a tight game with the Cubs, Bobby Cox turned to his bullpen and signaled for Mark Wohlers. It would turn out to be a momentous call, for Cox was giving the young fireballer another chance to become the club's stopper. He had tried before and failed, but this time Wohlers took the challenge, earning his first save of the season. Drilled left field. Back goes Kelly to the wall. He's got it, and the ball game is over. 2 days later, he became the first Brave in 6 years to strike out 4 men in 1 inning to earn his second save.
Runner goes, the 1-2 pitch. He did it. Mark Wohlers is in the record book. 1 inning of work, 4 strikeouts.
There are many who believe a World Series Express left the station that week. Engineered by number 43.
Wohlers is the difference in this team. First part of the year, they were trying to find a closer, and we struggled real bad playing under 500. They gave Wohlers the job. He changed our whole season.
Got it through the fastball right back.
Coincidence or not, since Mark has been doing what I think we all thought he could do around here, this team has taken off. And I mean, Mark's been awesome.
Breaking ball struck him out.
Once you get to the ninth, if you're going to beat us, you got to beat that 100-mile-an-hour heat. If you can do that, you deserve it. And Mark has the confidence now, and he's definitely pitching, with that confidence, and he's doing a great job for us.
You might say Wohlers helped the Braves catch fire, but fate nearly did that, literally. It's odd, their fixation with fire. The July night Fred McGriff arrived in Atlanta in 1993, a part of the Atlanta press box caught fire. The team followed, going from 9 games out of first place at that point to the division championship. A red-hot trip to Montreal in mid-June of 1995 was another spark. Their team plane filled with smoke as they were about to leave Hartsfield International. Everyone was safely evacuated and another plane boarded. No doubt about it, they were 5 games behind the Phillies in 3rd place at that time. They won 7 of their next 8 and began to turn their season around. Glavine delivers. Bouncing ball to short. Blauser goes to Lemke. 1 on the first, double play. And Tom Glavine has pitched the Braves a gem here tonight. A 6-hit shutout. The 3rd straight complete game by an Atlanta starting pitcher. One of the most remarkable 8-day stretches in Braves history then shot them back into first place. Going from 5 games back to a tie for first, winning 8 out of 10 games while the Phillies were falling apart.
Chipper driven high and deep to right field. Mondesi back, and this ball is out of here. The Braves win. They're in first place by themselves, and Chipper Jones just hit a 3-run home.
By the All-Star break, this team that had danced with mediocrity for nearly half a season suddenly could not be stopped. In the space of 19 games, they went from 5 back to 5 ahead and simply built on that. Everybody contributing, not only to wins, but theatrics.
Line drive, right field, base hit, Justice up, throw to the plate, hit, at the plate, Braves win! A perfect throw by David Justice.
Nobody in Atlanta either left the ballpark or went to bed early this season. How many times did you see it?
The Braves going to have late inning magic again tonight? We'll soon see.
Bye-bye.
You roll the dice, sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. A 3-run homer for David Justice.
There's a drive. Deep right field, and the Braves win. A grand slam for Dwight Smith.
No doubt about that one. For the second night in a row, the Braves win the game in the bottom half of the 9th inning on a home run.
When I got between first and second, I got a picture of my mother crying in the stands. Sure enough, I got home and Dad said, man, she was bawling her eyes out. So it was one that I'll enjoy for a long time.
Fastball driven to left field, and it's hooking away from Gilkey. He can't get it. Fred rounds third. He'll score easily. And Mike Mordecai, his only at-bat of the night, and it's a beauty.
Curve hit hard, base hit. Here comes Mondesi. Here comes
Grissom. Here's the throw. He is safe. Braves win. A great throw, but the speed of Grissom beat the ref. He hung a curveball. And McGriff came through, and the Braves win yet another thriller. Line drive, Braves win. Javi Lopez comes through again. And Atlanta wins the game by a final score of 2-1, and a huge crowd is very happy. That's 19 times the Braves have won a game in their last at bat. Nice going, kid. What did you hit?
Thank you. Well, he threw me a couple of fastballs inside, and I couldn't get the bat quick enough to hit it. But as soon as I got to strike, I looked for the slider. Throw me the slider away. Finally, I got it.
I don't even know that that was a strike, was it? Didn't you go get one out of the strike zone?
Well, something away from me, because that way I can reach, I can extend my arm and hit it with the top of the bat, and that's what I did.
Here comes the 2-0 pitch to Mordecai. Line drive, right field. It's in for a base hit. Dwight Smith around third. The Braves have done it again. Mike Mordecai delivering the game-winning blow in the bottom of the ninth. 20 times this year, the Braves have won a game in their final at-bat. And there's a drive to center field. Back goes Carr to the wall. It is gone. Home run.
And on that 3-2 pitch that was up in his eyes, David Justice leveled off and blasted it. Boy, did he get up on top of that high fastball. That was pretty.
I really don't know why I offered at that pitch, because it was up. It would have been a ball, but I just reacted. Something told me to go after it, and my approach to it was perfect. I like to have that approach every at bat.
Tell you what, you guys are amazing. Can we ever win a game in the second inning or the fourth inning or something? It always seems like it's the last inning.
Well, you know, we got to do something to keep the fans here for the full 9 innings.
Yeah, it's good for our ratings, too, buddy.
We appreciate that.
Yeah, okay. Everyone played a role, but one slowly began to be singled out. Night in and night out, there was the youngster at third base. The former #1 draft choice of the Braves, the kid who had spent the entire season a year before on the disabled list. Chipper Jones, just 23 years old, but suddenly playing like an old veteran. 3 of his 23 home runs came in the 9th inning to win a game.
Deep to right field. And with one swing of his bat, Chipper Jones has untied the game. It's 3-2 Atlanta.
My dad always told me when I was growing up, there's somebody out there. If I wasn't playing or practicing baseball, there was somebody out there that was outworking me. And I didn't want that to happen. I made it a goal of mine to my first year in the league to try and come out and win the Rookie of the Year, to make a significant contribution to this team, and hopefully, you know, win a World Series and whatever comes after that, icing on the cake. I feel that I'm a 300 hitter in this league, and I fell well short of that expectation, but certainly the 23 home runs and 86 RBIs were a big surprise. I think all Bobby asked of me, you know, before the season was to play steady defense and hit third and do the things it took to win ball games, and hopefully I've done that.
By late August, the Braves had it in cruise control, ahead by 15 to 16 games and clearly preparing for the postseason. But never satisfied. It was as if they were a canvas in the hands of a Rembrandt, always touching up the edges, trying for perfection. It was nothing new. John Schuerholz has been touching up the Braves since they hired him as their vice president and general manager in 1990.
That deal's done.
Pendleton, Belliard, Bream, Nixon, McGriff, Sanders, Pena. The list of Schuerholz imports seems endless. And in 1995, he dealt with the White Sox for Mike Devereaux, with the Yankees for Luis Polonia, and reacquired Alejandro Pena from the Marlins. All made an impact, but none, not one, any more than the remarkable Greg Maddux. The first major league pitcher since Walter Johnson in 1918 and 1919 to put together back-to-back seasons of less than a 1.80 earned run average.
the first National League right-hander to lead the league in complete games for 3 consecutive years since Grover Cleveland Alexander. Simply, well,
Got it. What a job. He's the best, folks. He is the best.
well, just what is the best? Is it 4 straight Cy Young Awards? What is the best? Is it being the first pitcher since Sandy Koufax in the 60s to lead the National League in earned run average for 3 straight years or more? What is the best? Is it his 18 straight victories on the road? What exactly is the best? His teammates know.
Awesome.
Unbelievable, man. Dominating.
You know, he's so darn good that, you know, he can make the best lineups look bad.
I guess you could say he defines definition for a pitcher.
Before I got over here, obviously I'd seen him on TV, and I know he was a great pitcher, but to see him in person, to play behind him, is totally unbelievable.
Anybody would love to have a Greg Maddux, and certainly that's a huge plus for any club, and that is one of the differences, you know, on our club. We have Greg Maddux. He's going to win the Cy Young 4 years in a row. Nobody's ever done that before, and we own him.
The postseason was a given for the Braves from mid-August. They simply didn't know who or where. With realignment and a wild card and an extra playoff series put into effect, they, like the rest of baseball, waited for it all to be spelled out for them. In fact, they celebrated clinching the division title in midair, flying from Colorado to Cincinnati in the wee hours of September 14th, the first team to win 4 straight division titles in National League history. On the opening day of the National League playoffs, most of the world's attention was on a courtroom in Los Angeles.
Extra, extra, read all about it. OJ goes free, 35 cents. Extra, extra.
The Braves, meanwhile, were a mile high as they began their march to the championship. There in the shadows of the Rocky Mountains, where the Blake Street Bombers had terrorized National League pitching all season long. The Braves and the 3-year-old Colorado Rockies at a brand new Coors Field.
Program scorecard lineup. Rockies first. Home playoff game.
The atmosphere electric as the crowds gathered for this new best-of-5 opening round. The Braves sent their 19-game winner, Greg Maddux, to war in Game 1, leading a roster of playoff veterans and wide-eyed youngsters. And who should lead them to victory in that opener but one of the latter, Chipper Jones, with a stunning defensive play at third base.
Another one of those ones you don't know how you do it. You just kind of push your shoulders back and say, yeah, I did that.
And the game-winning home run in the 9th inning. That look of awe, now simply awesome.
Fastball swung on, high fly ball, deep right field. Back goes Kingery on the track at the wall. That ball is gone. A home run for Chipper Jones. He hit it in the Rockies bullpen, and the Braves are back on top, 5-4.
I hit the ball out of the park to give us that 1-run lead and probably the biggest game of the year. So I was just basically floating on air, going around the base. I looked back in the dugout, and everybody's just really excited and happy, and you know, it just thrills me that I could provide for them.
A chilly rain kept both teams inside leading up to Game 2, but when the skies cleared, it was Tom Glavine's turn to make the Colorado fans nervous. And once again, one of the youngsters led the Braves to victory. Mike Mordecai, who had won 2 games during the regular season in their last at-bat, did it again.
I'm not a household name, and you know, it wouldn't bother me if I never was. But I would love to be a world champion, and I'm going to do what it takes to help our team win a World Series. And you know, I don't think if the coaching staff and John Schuerholz and the organization didn't believe in me, I wouldn't be here. So that's what it's all about.
Mordecai beat Darren Holmes right here a couple months ago on a 2-0 pitch down the right field line, so we know who Mordecai is.
And now it was on to Atlanta, the Braves' home, their fans confident despite facing a murderer's row led by the man they call the Big Cat, Andres Galarraga. It was his heroics in Game 3 that cut Atlanta's lead in half and gave the Rockies newfound bravado.
I always feel that until it's over, it's not over. And the fat lady may be warming up to sing, but she's not out there yet.
But in Game 4, the fat lady was up almost before the national anthem was over and singing the praises of Fred McGriff. He gave starter Greg Maddux all the support he would need with 2 home runs and 6 RBIs, and for the first time in 2 autumns, the Braves could truly celebrate. This time, their feet were planted on a locker room floor, filling quickly with water, champagne, and shaving cream.
This is just a first step in the long road to the World Series, but it's a positive one and it's something for us to build on going into the Reds series. We know that's going to be a great series.
Well, the Reds they're a very good team. They have very good speed. They have power. They play excellent defense. They have good pitching, but so do we. We do too. So I think it's great. I think the two best teams are going to be facing one another, and I think that's great for the game. I think that's the way it should be.
2 days later, with the champagne and shaving cream properly rinsed away, it was back to business. The Braves on to Cincinnati for the first 2 games of the National League Championship Series. A bridge, perhaps, to another World Series. But a bridge crossed limping. In the euphoria of the victory over Colorado, pain. David Justice had injured a knee during the final game and spent the days preceding the Red Series testing it. Could he play? Would the bulky knee brace hold up? It would, and so would he. But his health would be a concern right up to the very end. The Reds were coming off a blowout sweep of the Dodgers and seemed almost cocky, bolstered by several national publications that picked them to beat the Braves in 5 or 6 games. The Braves, on the other hand, went about their business as they had all season. Quietly, confidently. Game 1 was a tight one and went to extra innings.
2-1. McGriff at second. Pitch. Fastball. Line into center field. Base hit. McGriff's going to be way at home. Darren Lewis up with it. Here comes the throw. It's off the mark and McGriff scores. Braves lead it 2-1.
And it was Atlanta's defense that finished this one off. 5 double plays in the opener, including one in the 11th with Reds at first and third. That was how Greg McMichaels spelled relief.
And double play is the pitcher's best friend, so we got him at times we needed to get him and got us out of some jams. And last inning, it was couldn't ask for a better time for double play.
One thing that always gets overlooked is our defense, but I mean, we get that ball on the ground with guys on, those guys can turn it. No one in the league can turn it better than Mark Lemke. And, you know, he just came through tonight all night long. Our defense was amazing. They've been amazing all year, but it's one thing that seems to get always overlooked with our big bats and our starting pitching.
If the Riverboat Gamblers expected an easier time for the Reds in Game 2, they saw their odds dwindle in another nail-biter. It was 2-2 in the 10th when Reds reliever Mark Portugal wild pitched home what turned out to be the winning run. Javi Lopez then broke it open with a 3-run homer, and the Braves had swept the first 2 games on the road.
When Javi hit that home run, it was such a boost that, you know, for them it's a good thing they got a day off, but nobody here, you can see the clubhouse, nobody here realizes that this thing's over by any means, but we feel like our chances have improved vastly.
Just because we're up 2-0, by no means do we feel that this series is over. And I like to use the phrase that some pitchers say around here, that their next start is their most important one, regardless whether it's April or October.
Especially coming home to Atlanta, up 2-0 and turning their fate over to their ace Greg Maddux. The Reds, meanwhile, turned to David Wells, the 3rd straight left-hander they would start against the Braves. They had retooled themselves by acquiring Wells to give them a predominantly left-handed rotation, specifically to face these Braves. That backfired again in the 6th, when a right-handed batter, Charlie O'Brien, belted a 3-run homer to put the Braves on their way to another victory. It was enough to reduce the Reds to near tears.
Yeah, I mean, it was, you know, what are you going to do? You try to sneak by, but we're not doing it.
Our backs are at the wall, not against the wall. It's definitely at the wall. Hopefully we'll come out tomorrow and be able to score some runs early, which we haven't been able to do. Stay on top the whole game.
The Braves were in the driver's seat now, and the man at the wheel was Steve Avery. So troubled during much of 1995, winning just 7 of his 20 decisions, but so strong in the last 3 starts to earn a role in the postseason. All was not perfect. David Justice once again was hobbled, this time by a batting practice shot from teammate Javi Lopez. The knee swollen and uncomfortable, but destiny seemed at work. Mike Devereaux started in right in Justice's place in Game 4. Avery was brilliant, justifying his call and setting the stage for Devereaux's heroics.
The wind and the pitch, and there's a drive.
He looks up. That ball is gone. A 3-run homer for Devereaux. It's 5-0 Atlanta.
This, unlike so many of the others, was a blowout, for once allowing the clubhouse plenty of time to be properly prepared for a party.
Here we go. Reggie waits. The 0-2 pitch. Here it is.
The Braves are National League champions.
rookie all over again. I mean, everybody's been there but me, it seems like, on this team, and I'm excited. I guess I have to hang out with Chipper.
We went out, we played well. Obviously, tip our hat to our pitchers, and it's just a wonderful feeling. Those feelings you can't replace during the regular season.
You know, it's going to take me a little bit of time to absorb everything that's going on here, but I know that I know we have another hurdle to go over, and you know, this is just part of it.
This is what we wanted. We wanted the opportunity to get back to the World Series and atone for the past problems that we've had, and now we're here. Now we need to take advantage of it.
You know, we want to win. Now, there's no doubt about it, and that's been our goal all along, is to get back and win.
The dramatic and unexpected 4-game elimination of the Reds delivered the Braves a dozen positives, a week of rest, a week to prepare their pitching rotation, a week to sow, and paint. And put their house in order for another World Series. A week to get David Justice healthy as much as anything. A week to find out if Jeff Blauser could possibly play. He could not, as it turned out, and was left off the series roster, replaced at shortstop by Rafael Belliard. And by midweek, time to prepare mentally for the daunting task of facing what had become baseball's most fearsome hitting lineup. The Cleveland Indians, with baseball's highest team batting average in over a half-century. The storyline would be the bottom line, Atlanta's overwhelming pitching staff against that awesome Cleveland lineup. But one small sidebar, and a key perhaps to the first 2 games, was that the Indians put their numbers together all season with a designated hitter. In the opening games in Atlanta, their pitchers had to swing a bat of their own. After a week's wait, the day finally arrived for Atlanta fans. For the 3rd time in 5 years, they were going to the World Series, and there couldn't be sweeter music to any baseball fan's ears.
Sure. We're not going to be like the Broncos or the Buffaloes. We're going to win, definitely, for sure.
Game 1 in a dressed-up Atlanta Fulton County Stadium. And if there were signs of nerves, nobody saw them. Fred McGriff, in fact, facing his very first pitch ever in a World Series, promptly blasted it for a home run to tie the game. But perhaps nerves did play a part. Bases loaded with Braves in the 7th. Game still tied at 1.
It was funny, but I was feeling nervous. For the first time in my whole career, you know, I never had that feeling. And maybe because it was such a key situation that I just couldn't believe it. I got to get off the bat one time and just try to, you know, put my legs really tight because it was shaking a little bit. I go like, what is wrong with you? I mean, you got how many thousands of bet you have already, and you already worrying about one at bat. You know, just go out there, try to make contact, and let things happen.
Polonia hits into the perfect double play, but the Gold Glove shortstop Omar Vizcael bobbles it on the way to second. But the call is out. Bobby Cox argues long and loud, but to no avail. It was on his way back to the dugout, Cox said later, that he decided to call for the next play.
Watch out for the squeeze play here. Pitch on the way to Belliard. Squeeze is on. Here comes Justice. He scores. It's 3-1 Atlanta. Good call down.
And that was all Greg Maddux would need as he dazzled the Indians with a 2-hitter, and the Braves take the opener 3-2.
I mean, it's great to win the first game, but we got to win 3 more. I mean, it's just a very small step to where we actually want to be, and you know, we may have won the battle, but we're not even close to winning the war, and I think we all understand that. It's a very good team, and just need to come out and play well tomorrow.
That's what's amazing, going out there and throwing this kind of game and getting us off on the right foot, which is so very, very important.
The Atlanta fans rang the turnstiles and the cash registers again for Game 2. 2 veterans facing each other, Tom Glavine against the 40-year-old Dennis Martinez. And the Indians would strike quickly for the 2nd straight night. Eddie Murray's 2-run homer set the tone. But on this night, the hero would be Javi Lopez.
The 1-2 pitch to Lopez. Another sidearm pitch driven deep to center field. Back goes Lofton, away, back, that ball is gone!
He would win this game not just with his bat, but with his arm. And in the end, with Braves fans begging, Mark Wohlers did what he had done all season, and the Braves were up 2-0.
I mean, what can I say? This is a World Series. This is my first time in World Series. And just not only to hit a home run in the World Series, but to win the game because of that home run, that's something that you can never forget. That's something that I always gonna remind that day, and that's something that I have to feel very proud of it.
When you get into the World Series, man, I mean, just seems like everything is resting on when men are in scoring position, and you know, it's who can get the big hit. You know what I mean? Who can make the great defensive play?
It was a very relaxed, almost mellow Braves club that took its lead now to Cleveland for the middle 3 games. Not a care in the world, it would seem, and much of that has to do with Bill Acree, the veteran director of team travel and equipment, an unsung hero on his way to a championship goal as well. As the club got its first look at Jacobs Field in Cleveland, the big story was not about Game 3, but of a night later. Bobby Cox deciding not to come back with Greg Maddux, but once again showing confidence by starting Steve Avery. For the first time in 41 years, Cleveland was hosting a World Series, and the city strutted its stuff. It was bitterly cold and windy for Game 3 with wind chills in the upper 20s. The Indians took a big early lead. The Braves overtook them in the 8th, only to lose the game in the 11th on Eddie Murray's heroics.
Swung on and hit into center field. Here comes Espinosa. Grissom's throw is high. Cleveland Indians win it 7-6. There will be a Game 5.
Game 4 was slightly warmer, slightly wetter early on. Perfect weather for the Michigander Steve Avery, who seems to thrive on the postseason. David Justice, whose bat had been silent through the first 3 games, hit an 0-2 pitch for the key base hit in this one.
Curveball line into right center field. Here comes Polonia. Here comes Chipper Jones. David Justice, some clutch hitting. 4-1 lead for the Braves.
Pedro Borbon Jr. came on to close it out. And the Braves were within 1 win of their first World Championship in Atlanta.
When I got in there, it was just me and Javier Lopez. I just saw the Met, and I didn't see nobody else but just the Met and Javi.
It's just an exciting time knowing that you're just one small step away.
I really don't think that they're going to quit. I wouldn't mind if they did, but I just don't see it happening.
We're only human, and we know we're closer to being world champions. We just haven't put the final touches on it yet, but we can taste it. It's just up to us to go out there and do the job.
Slowly, subtly, they were changing from their business suits into party garb. As they left their Cleveland hotel for the last time, they silently wondered, would this be the night? After all, they had Greg Maddux rested and going, the perfect scenario. But from the first inning on, it was evident this would not be his night. Albert Bell's home run to the off-field in the first inning was a very obvious tale. That it ended only in a 1-run loss was a testimony to the young left fielder Ryan Klesko, whose 9th-inning homer was his 3rd in 3 games.
I think it just give us a chance to clinch in front of our home fans, and of course we'd like to close it out as early as we can, but we got a chance to go home now. And it's advantage playing at home. We got Glavine throwing, and we're ready to go.
They came home in the wee hours of the morning to be greeted by 1,000 cheering fans at the airport. So unlike the Atlanta fans who had been so quiet through much of the run, almost expecting a championship.
There's more people here than there was in '91, so it's darn nice.
It was that side of the issue that greeted the city upon awakening Saturday morning. David Justice begging for the noise of '91 and '92, the excitement that seemed to carry them to greater heights. The headline said he ripped them, and he was left to explain himself in the hours leading up to Game 6. Outside, the hospitality tents seemed to beckon the greater party to come. Would this finally be the night this team and this city had been awaiting for 30 years? Simply, yes. Tom Glavine was near perfect, shutting down the vaunted Indian attack with just one hit. And who should lift this enormous crowd out of its collective seat as one?
The 1-1 pitch. Fastball swung on and belted. Deep right field. Back goes Ramirez. That ball is gone. Home run. This crowd on its feet for David Justice right now.
But because this was a 1-0 game and could turn on the swing of any bat, the tension remained thick, and the scramble to prepare the clubhouse for its ultimate celebration came late. It came down to this, and how perfect. Mark Wohlers, and there could be no better relief than this.
The wind and the pitch, here it is. Swung, fly ball deep left center. Grissom on the run. Yes! 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 The Atlanta Braves have given you a championship. Listen to this crowd. A mob scene on the field. The Atlanta Braves have brought the first championship to Atlanta.
Of people who publicly told the world what their mission was on the first day of spring training, never wavered. We're never going to be shortchanged. We're never going to take second place. They had to win this, and they told the world that without fearing any kind of pressure, and it resulted in this. They accomplished their mission.
We've won more games than anybody in baseball the last 5 years, and this is a proud crown to a glorious 5-year period for us, and these guys in here all deserve it, especially our manager, Bobby Cox, who has been the finest manager in baseball for the last 5 years and gotten very little recognition. He deserves it more than anybody.
Well, it's a long time coming, but I've been very, very proud of the organization and this club. You know, for 5 years now, we've been a winning baseball team, but I guess to be defined as a winning baseball team, you have to win the World Series, and, you know, we did that this year. They were very, very determined all through spring training, all through the season. They were not going to let anything stand in their way.
You know, this is something that we've been dreaming about since we've been little kids, something that this group of guys has been dreaming about since we lost the World Series in '91 in Minnesota. And, you know, you got to give credit to the guys in that clubhouse and the people in this organization. We didn't let that get us down. We didn't let the '92 repeat loss of a World Series get us down. We kept plugging away and kept focused on the fact that we needed to get back here, and sooner or later we were going to win this thing, and here we are, and it's the culmination of a lot of hard work.
When you look at the success of this ball club, you got to look at it from top to bottom. Each and every guy on this ball club can look in the mirror and say at some point in this season, he's played a part in our success, and that's always a great feeling.
You've been in 7 years like myself, and they're trying to put you out of it, and you get a ring out of it, something you can rock on your chest for years and years, and that ring will always look good. And I got one of the best ones to try to get me a beautiful ring.
We have a great feeling. I think everybody play hard, you know, and we do it for the fame. We did it for the fame, man. They're great fame. We love it.
24 guys pick up the other guy that isn't doing a job, and then hopefully he'll come back around and pick somebody else up. And fortunately for me, I was throwing my best at the ball of the year at the end of the year when it really counted.
You know, I had my postseasons in the past, and we didn't win a World Series. And I wasn't at my best this year, but it don't mean a hill of beans because we won a World Series. So they can say all they want now about who's a postseason player and who isn't. We got a World Championship under our belt.
This is a dream year. I mean, I can never forget that year. At least I can say that I've been in the first world champion Atlanta Braves. This is the first championship they got, and I feel glad that I'm being part of it.
A lot of veterans go through a whole career without getting this. Does this feel unfair that a guy in his first year gets it like you?
I don't care if it's unfair or not. I'm not giving it back. I mean, you know, we're going to have a great time trying to defend this thing next year because the only thing that would be sweeter than this would be doing it again next October.
Hopefully first of a number of world championships that we'll win.
I like it, and I think the players do too. Everybody likes it. From the grounds crew to the general manager did a fabulous job, and you know, it takes lots and lots of people to make a successful organization in anything. And you know, I'm looking forward to the parade on Monday. I need to, you know, sleep on it tonight and read the papers in the morning and make sure it's like a dream, kind of, you know, like waking up in the middle of a dream.
And so Peachtree finally paraded its first world champion. The team of the 90s finally, halfway through the decade, measured up. The chalice was theirs at last.
On behalf of all the people of Atlanta who love what you've done, your grit, your tenacity, and your style, we give this proclamation and we proclaim today Braves World Champions Day in the city of Atlanta. There you go.
Atlanta is a dynamic city. Atlanta is a proud city. Now, Atlanta is a world championship city. Enjoy.
The Atlanta Braves